My friend, I am not being unjust to you. Did we not agree on 1 denarius? Take your earnings and go. I choose to pay the last comer as much as I pay you. Have I no right to do what I like with my own? Why being envious because I am generous? You're welcome to the Saints and the Church as we reflect on the readings for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time Year A. The readings for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time Year A invite us to reflect on God's boundless mercy and generosity, urging us to seek Him diligently no matter our circumstances. In the first reading from the prophet Isaiah, God calls upon us to seek Him while He may be found, and to turn to Him while He is near. It is a reminder that God is always ready to forgive and restore us, regardless of our past actions or mistakes. The passage emphasizes the incomparable greatness of God's thoughts and ways that surpasses our finite understanding. As humans, we tend to limit our thoughts and actions to our own understanding, but God's wisdom and mercy are far above our own. The psalm further amplifies this message of God's infinite mercy and benevolence. It expresses gratitude to God for His constant presence, deliverance, and kindness in time of trouble. The psalmist acknowledges that God's kindness and love surpasses all human comprehension. It calls upon us to praise God and recognize His goodness in all circumstances. The second reading from Philippians highlights the hope and confidence that arise from a deep relationship with Christ. The Apostle Paul expresses his desire to live his life fully for Christ, acknowledging that whether he lives or dies, he belongs to Christ. He acknowledges the tension between his longing to be in the presence of God and his deep desire to continue serving and sharing the gospel in this world. This reading teaches us that our ultimate purpose is to live for Christ and bring His message of love and salvation to others. From the gospel reading, Matthew presents us with a parable of the workers in the vineyard. In this parable, Jesus tells of a landowner who employs workers at different times of the day and pays them all the same wage, regardless of the hours they worked. This parable challenges our human sense of fairness and justice, reminding us that God's ways are not our ways. It teaches us that God's generosity and mercy are not bound by human standard or expectations. No matter when we turn to God or how much we have served Him, His love and salvation are available to all. Finally, the parable in the gospel challenges us to examine our own attitude towards fairness and justice. It encourages us to let go of selfishness and jealousy, and instead embrace God's abundant grace and mercy towards others. We are called to view others as equals in the eyes of God and to extend love and compassion without discrimination. As we reflect on these readings, we are called to examine our hearts and attitudes. Are we open to the mystery of God's way, even when they diverge from our own understanding? Do we trust in His providence and seek refuge in His strength? Are we willing, like St. Paul, to live wholeheartedly for the gospel, regardless of our circumstances? And can we embrace the radical generosity of God's grace, both in receiving it ourselves and extending it to others? The readings for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time Year A challenges us to deepen our relationship with God, to trust in His wisdom, and to live lives marked by gratitude and generosity. In doing so, we become more fully aligned with His divine purpose and experience the profound peace and joy that comes from following His ways.